Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Yes, we do. All right. Well, it's great being here at Temple Shalom. I had 2 great weeks at Gucci, and at the same time, I'm glad to be back here with all of you. Elliot is leading music tonight, and Ivy is streaming, so thank you. We appreciate your help. We're going to start tonight on page 10 as we settle into Shabbat by singing Ma Yafeh Hayom on page 10.
Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Okay, so not to, well, to welcome. So Carrie, this is Carrie's first time that he is able to be with us since February, and we are grateful that you are here and not on our Misha Berach list as of tonight. And wanted to offer the opportunity to say Shechianu, because this is the first time you're back after a long period, and if you'd like, we can join in with you. The prayer that thanks God for keeping us alive, sustaining us, and enabling us to reach this day. Oh, you go? All right, so here we go. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Welcome back, Carrie. And welcome, A.W. and Carolyn. All right, we are going to continue on page 3 as Nancy lights the Shabbat candles.
Please join me as we read responsively at the bottom of the page. O source of light and truth, creator of eternal law and goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak to our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter the sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead of kindness, peace, and love.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher kideshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
We are going to continue on page 6 as we join together on the top of this page. We enter this sanctuary to welcome Shabbat. Within these walls, we sit surrounded by numberless generations. Our ancestors built the synagogue as a visible sign of God's presence in their midst. Throughout our long history and our endless wanderings, it has endured, a beacon of truth, love, and justice for all humanity. Its presence guided our ancestors to lives of righteousness, holding up to them a vision of their truest selves. Now we, in our turn, come into this sanctuary to affirm the sacredness of our lives. May we enter this place in peace. May holiness wrap around us as we cross its threshold. Weariness, doubt, the flaws within our human hearts, the harshness of the weak, let these drop away at the door. In the brightness of Shabbat, let peace settle upon us as we lift our hearts in prayer. We're going to continue on page 24 with the singing of Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Chasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech malchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, malachei chashalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech malchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni l'shalom, malachei chashalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech malchei chalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem l'shalom, malachei chashalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech malchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
We will now rise physically or in spirit as we open the ark and continue with the Baruch Hu, page 28.
La 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
We're going to continue now with Ma'ariv, Aravim, our blessing for creation in Hebrew. And I want to say that being able to worship outside is such a wonderful experience. And I know that here we plan to do it on Erev Sukkot and during Sukkot. I know it's really hot out now, but we might want to think about opportunities to have services outside. It would mean they wouldn't be streamed. At camp, every night, we had services every night after dinner. And the Beit Tefillah, our sanctuary, was outdoors. And there's something really awesome about praying when out in nature. Does anybody else have a sense of that? Yeah, I see some heads nodding. So something for us to think about. I will talk with our ritual chair and see what maybe we can figure out. All right, let's join together on page 30. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, bechokma poteach she'arim, uvitvuna mishane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umisader et hakochavim, b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono, bore yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, vechoshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom umevi layla, umavdil ben yom uvein layla, Adonai tzivaot shemo, el chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. We think of the gift of Torah as we join together in the singing of Ahavat Olam, page 32.
Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amecha Avta, Amcha Avta. Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta, otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbenu v'kumenu na siach b'hukecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha u'v'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed ki hem chayenu v'orech yamenu Uvahem nege yomam v'layla, nege yomam v'layla. V'ahavatcha al tasir, mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
We continue with Shema Yisrael, page 34.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Please be seated as we continue on page 36 with the chanting of Ve'ahavta.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol mehotecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alvavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibartam b'shivtecha b'vetecha u'v'lechtecha v'derech u'v'shochbecha u'v'kumecha ukashartam lehot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot ben enecha uchetavtam al mezuzot betecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hietem kadoshim le'elohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher chotzeiti etchem eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'elohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem emet.
Just last week, our country celebrated its 250th anniversary of its creation, of the freedoms, the liberties, all that we hold near and dear. And we need to continue to work to hold onto our freedom and our values and our liberties. And as the Liberty Bell says, the pursuit of happiness. Because our ancestors didn't have that opportunity in Egypt, and in so many countries in which we lived, we did not have freedom. We definitely did not have equal rights, if any rights. Let us meditate and think about the gift of freedom as we join together now on page 40, Mi Chamocha.
Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, la 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 la, ya la la la, la 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 la. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha neder b'kodesh, nora tehilot osefele, nora tehilot osefele. Malchutecha ra'u v'necha, bokeh hayam yam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, זה ליאנו ואמרו, זה ליאנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, מי מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה.
The Hashkivenu blessing is one that we only recite at night when we ask God to watch over us, to shelter us in God's wings, and to watch over us and guard us. So tonight we are going to join along in the singing to Dan Nichols' version of Hashkivenu, and I believe everyone has a handout. Okay, so on the bottom of 44, we're going to join together in the singing of Yismechu. And when we sing about Oneg Shabbat, and that's delighting on Shabbat. And we had a month or so ago, we did a, what was it called, Linda, the exact title? Schmoozing and Services. So there'll be a next one coming next month. I think it's August 21st. And so mark your calendar. Something will go in the email blast. But plan to be with us. It'll be a nice time. All right, we're going to join together in the singing of Yismechu.
יזמחו במלכותך, שומרי, שומרי, שומרי שבת וקורא עונג שבת. יזמחו במלכותך, שומרי, שומרי, שומרי שבת וקורא עונג שבת. מקדשי שבי שבת, כולם יסבהו ויתענגו מטובך שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי, שומרי, שומרי שבת וקורא עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי, שומרי, שומרי שבת וקורא עונג שבת. השביעי רציתי בו, רצית בו והתעשתו שבת. חמדת ימים, אותו קראת שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי, שומרי, שומרי שבת וקורא עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי, שומרי, שומרי שבת וקורא עונג שבת. זכר למעשה בראשית שבת. זכר למעשה בראשית שבת. יזמחו במלכותך, שומרי, שומרי, שומרי שבת וקורא עונג שבת. יזמחו במלכותך, שומרי, שומרי, שומרי שבת וקורא עונג שבת.
We rise and continue with the Amidah, page 46, as Lily helps me open the ark.
Adonai sefetai tiftach ufi agid techilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hamorah, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'koneh Hakol, V'zocher Chastei Avot V'imahot, U'mevi Gehula Livnei V'nehem, L'ma'an Shemo B'ahava, Melech Hoseh U'Moshiach U'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, mechayeh hakol atah rav lehoshia, morid hatal. מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורוחש חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומתיר ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
We are going to continue on page 57. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadecha b'yirah na'avod. So as I was reading this prayer about feeling God's presence or turning to God at different times, it reminded me of this summer at camp when I had the opportunity with some of the other clergy to meet with the one particular high school unit, and the topic that we talked about was God. And each of us had a different way of presenting it. We each had a different class, so to speak. But our first class was together and our last class was together. And when they came to us individually, it was really interesting to give them an opportunity to hear their thoughts. And of course, they're very diverse. And of course, that's okay. And we know that how one thinks of God, if one doubts God, it's really okay in Judaism. You're not a bad Jew because you doubt God. The one thing that cannot, though, be and still be considered Jewish if a person believes in more than one God, right? So that's kind of like the one line or the one condition, right? That if someone believes in God, they believe in one God. But other than that, what one thinks is acceptable. And in my class, I had a lot of different quotes. Some came from this prayer book, some came from other books, and sometimes it was a line, sometimes it was a couple sentences. And I asked them to read over, there were 18, and to share which one spoke to them. And if none spoke to them, then would they be willing to share their thoughts on God? And young people, they might be young, but they're bright. They have a lot of ideas. And so it was really interesting to hear. And anyway, I just wanted to share that because I don't know if everybody knows what I do at camp, but my days are full. Wake up is at 7, and then I have a meeting at 10 o'clock and sometimes one after that. So they're quite long days, but it's great being with our Jewish youth, and I do love it. And I am grateful for the opportunity to be able to go and be with them. So now we turn our thoughts to peace as we do every time we come together to worship, morning, afternoon, or evening. We're going to join together in the singing of Shalom Rav, which can be found on page 60.
Shalom Rav, Yal Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Yal Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech adon, lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon, lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav, Yal Yisrael Amcha, Tasim leolam. Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim leolam. V'tov b'einecha levarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
We now call to mind our loved ones who are in need of prayers of healing tonight. Our prayers are with Sherry Davies, Leah Dolman, Malia Willis, Judy Yesowich, Lev Dickerman, Carla Dunbar, John Lermit, Nash Zaid, Jim Todd, Steve Duval, Susan Charlton, Austin Naamani, Karen Pass, Myra Tallenfeld, Frank Tallenfeld, Christopher Manikis, Paul Vrogendui, Basha Barchana, Susan Glazer, Gloria Gurr.
The people of Ukraine, the people who are victims of conflicts all over Africa, and the Uyghurs of China.
Gary Bitton, Katina Cummings, Odette Sinclair, Carmel Farjan.
And Allison Strong, Justin Strong.
Robert, Judy, Susan.
All of the people I spoke to today that were grieving.
Dave and Polly Brucker.
Kendall Stevens.
Ella and Ann.
Oksana Brudner, Gaba Gavi, Igor Pergam, Igor Brenstein, John Pemple, Bill Robards, Leah Dolman, Carol Eckler Unger, Gerald Barron, Micah Soletto.
Nick McDonald.
We continue with our prayer for healing, which can be found in the middle of page 253.
Mi sheberach avotenu mekor habracha Imotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha levotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We continue silently.
Say shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen.
Shabbat Shalom. I remember once hearing a quote, and it sounded odd to me when I first heard it, and it also sounds odd when it came to my mind recently. Promises and pie crust are made to be broken. Has anybody ever heard that? Yes, some say yes. Well, I had not heard it, well, before I heard it, let's say it wasn't a saying I heard often in my lifetime. And I thought, yeah, pie crust, okay, it'll crumble. But promises, that just felt too nonchalant to me. In this week's Torah portion, The whole first chapter talks about making vows and oaths. And the opening line of this week's Parashah Matot says, God commands the following. If a man takes a vow to the Lord, and we can think of this as man or woman, if a man or woman takes a vow to the Lord or takes an oath, imposing an obligation on himself or herself, he or she shall not break his or her pledge. He or she must carry out all that has crossed his lips. In other words, you make a vow, you make a pledge, you make an oath, you need to carry through, right? It's pretty straightforward. And it makes sense, right? We should try to live up to our commitments, our obligations. Just think, if more people kept their oaths and vows and less were broken, think about the quality of our lives. There'd be less people that would be hurt or let down. There would be less people who felt bad about themselves or became more distrustful. And if more people kept their vows, we would be a bit closer to Gan Eden, the Garden of Eden. In general, I think life would be more positive, more uplifting. Perhaps there'd be less cynicism among us. Perhaps we would just have more joy in our lives and trust people more. While our Torah speaks of the need to keep one's vow, we can't lose sight of the times when circumstances come up that we have no control over. I remember back when I was in high school and I had my graduation, and my dad, who worked in New York and had to commute back to Jersey, was going to be there. He said, I'll be there. And he wasn't. Circumstances occurred. He couldn't get out of the city. It just, you know what? Yeah, I was bummed, but I understood. I know there are times that I've made an appointment, and then I'm on a road and I get stuck behind a garbage truck and there's really no way to get around. And I could be a few minutes late, and I don't always have the opportunity to call and tell them that I can't make it or that I'm going to be late. And I'm sure everybody here has had a time when your intentions were really good and you meant to follow through with what you said. Yeah, I'll make a dozen cookies for this event, and then it just slips out of our mind. So, how do we do with that in a Jewish way? There's a phrase, a Hebrew phrase, that I first learned from a friend of mine in Israel. It's bli neder. Bli neder. Did you ever hear that in school, Lily? MTA? You don't think so? Okay. So bli means without, and neder is a vow. So, for example, my friend would say, I'll call you next week. Bli neder, right? Meaning it's not a vow. He has every intention of calling, but because what we say matters, when he says bli neder, he gives himself that space that he doesn't have to feel like, oh gosh, I made this vow and I didn't keep it, even though he intended to, right? And vows are understood as we make them before God. So for a person who is Orthodox, saying bli neder is even more important because one does not want to break a commitment. We have another way of dealing with times when we don't keep our word. It's called Kol Nidre, and it's coming up on September 21st. I'm already gearing up. I'm in high holy day mode, so it'll be here before we know it. I'm just going to make a little side note. Slichot, our high holy day kickoff, is Labor Day weekend. That's Saturday night, okay? And Erev Rosh Hashanah is September 11th. So if you haven't yet marked the dates on your calendar, you might want to, because things are coming earlier this year. So we have Kol Nidre, which literally means all vows, okay? Like we have Neder, Bli Neder, vow, Nidre is plural, and Kol, we know, is all, right? All vows. So when we chant Kol Nidre, what we are in fact saying is, and when we read these words, let all our vows and oaths, all the promises we make, and the obligations we incur to you, O God, between this Yom Kippur and the next, be null and void should we, after honest effort, find ourselves unable to fulfill them. Then may we be absolved of them. So I think the idea here is that after an honest effort, right, really trying like to get to my graduation before the very end, he got there, but it was like towards the end, right? Or my not being able to get someplace, or we forget to make the brownies or whatnot. It's after an honest effort to do it, right? We try to do something. Our schedules change. Life happens. We get sick. We just can't keep our commitment to play poker or mahjong or whatever it is that people were counting on us for. So I feel there's a double message for us in this week's Parsha. One is that, yes, we must do our best to keep our word. And that the other is when we can't, when we've let somebody down, then we need to apologize, right? It's that simple. But what matters is that along the way, we try our best and put in an honest effort. There's a lovely poem by Robert Frost that says at the end, the woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. Before we break our promises, let us each go that extra mile before we sleep. Shabbat Shalom. Nancy's our Bima guest, and she has some announcements.
Yeah. It's everybody's favorite part of the services. Shabbat Shalom. BLT, Bagels, Lax, and Torah, tomorrow morning, 10:30 in the boardroom of the Traeger Family Jewish Community Center. There's no streaming, so y'all should come. It's a whole lot of fun, and there's good food and good company. As we begin our new fiscal year, we are encouraging everyone to submit your voluntary pledge. If you haven't done that already, it helps us predict what our income is so that the board can plan ahead. We are again participating in Give for Good, the 24-hour kind of pledge-a-thon that Louisville does, and that will be September 10th. And so it's right before the high holidays, so it's a good time to give some money. Then Jewish Heritage Day at the Bats is this Sunday at 1. The new cash books are here for $20. Talk to LaTanya or Matt. You get $60 in Kroger savings. I've used all mine from the last one. If you aren't getting the e-blast, check with LaTanya about that. Thank you to Elliot for the music. Thank you to Rabbi and Lily for helping with services, and to Ivy for streaming. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
And thank you, Nancy, for being our Bima guest. We're going to continue in the middle of page 282 as we rise for Aleinu Lishabeach.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר ארץ, ומושב ככל ברמה. I'm so sorry I lost my place. שהוא נוטה שמיים ועושה ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום וחשבותה אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד, ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. Page 290. It is a fearful thing to love what death can touch, a fearful thing to love, hope, dream, to be, and oh, to lose. A thing for fools this, and a holy thing to love. For your life has lived in me, your laugh once lifted me, your word was gift to me. To remember this brings a painful joy. 'Tis a human thing, love, a holy thing, to love what death has touched. If you are here to recite Kaddish for a loved one, you're invited to rise when their name is read aloud. Tonight we remember David M. Brucker, Isidore Wolf, Norma Baker, Al Savitt, Fred Silverman, Rita Bowles, Malcolm Siegel. And we're in a period of Shloshim, the first 30 days of mourning for Jim Spoelstra. Zichronam Livracha, may their many memories be for a blessing, and may they rest in peace as we rise together as a community to recite the Mourner's Kaddish, page 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabba, Be'alma divarach Yerutei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala uv'izman kari v'yimeru, Amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevorach leolam olomei olmaya, Yit barach v'yishtabach v'yit pa'ar v'yit roman v'yit naseh, v'yit hadar v'yit alev v'yit halal shemei dekudasha berichu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran bi'alma v'yimeru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'yimeru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'yimeru amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say together, amen. Please be seated. I also want to put a date in your minds. It's not in the email blast yet, but August 14th, we have members of Temple Shalom who are or were campers this summer and or counselors, and they are going to be leading the service as they've done in years past, and it would be really great if we had a nice showing here so it wasn't just the parents of the campers and counselors. So please try to come on August 14th if you're in town. Thank you. Our concluding song this evening can be found on page 330, Ki Eshmera Shabbat.
Ki eshmera Shabbat el yishmereni, Ki eshmera Shabbat el yishmereni, oti lehol me'ar beno uveni, oti lehol me'ar beno uveni, Ki eshmera Shabbat el yishmereni, Ki eshmera Shabbat el yishmereni.
After you turn to someone near you and wish them Shabbat Shalom, we will need some folks to help us put the chairs back because the church will be here on Sunday morning. Shabbat Shalom.